Welcome to the Cash Flow Guys podcast.
All right, everybody, you know where you are. You know what time it is. This is Tyler Sheff. I am the host of the Cash Flow Guys podcast. And this week, I'm going to give away my super secret weapon to getting great deals put together. Now, you're going to have to listen to the whole episode. Don't worry, I'm going to keep it short. I know we got a lot going on. Remember, the government has actually figured out a way to pay you to sit on your ass at home on the couch and do nothing. And some of you, unbelievably, are crying about that. That just blows me away. But today we're going to talk about this whole market crash thing, right? I'm hearing lots of stuff about markets crashing. Deals are going to be everywhere. That may or may not be true. I don't know. I'm not going to sit there and try to predict the future. I tried that before. That certainly didn't work. But I do hear a lot of chatter about these supposed amazing deals that are coming out. Well, I got news for you. A lot of folks are sitting on their thumbs right now, not willing to do anything in the market because they think if they wait for the right time, they can pull some magic lever and deals will come in. Or somebody will call them and say, psst, hey, we're at the bottom of the market. Now's the right time to buy. It's like some sort of insider trading. Here's the deal. You're never going to know where the bottom of a market is until it's in recovery. That's a fact. So if you're sitting there waiting to buy stocks, or you're sitting there waiting to buy real estate, or you're sitting there waiting for whatever's supposed to happen that you read on Facebook, because, everybody on Facebook has a PhD in pretty much every topic, especially grammar and politics and religion and all this other good stuff. Here's the deal. You're never going to know where the market bottom is. So instead, wouldn't it make more sense to focus on getting better, attracting leads, finding opportunity, and more importantly, or most importantly, negotiating? I find it humorous that there are so many folks out there that will get all upset because they peruse Craigslist every day and they can't find a deal, or they go to real estate meetings religiously, but they can't ever seem to find a deal. And then suddenly you hear about them closing on something and they break down the numbers after you drag it out of them. And it's like, that's not a great deal. What the hell did you buy that for? Well, I needed to do something. You did you? Here's the thing, folks. You got to understand, you're never going to be able to put deals together, number one, until you can attract opportunity. If you're the one that's constantly chasing opportunity instead of attracting it, you're not going to get anywhere. That's not how this goes. You have to understand this, that epic deals never, ever, 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 did I say never, ever, ever, ever? One more ever. They never get advertised until after they close. That's just a fact. I've never known a seller to put their property on the MLS or listed for sale on Craigslist or some wholesaler to actually have a deal. Instead, they advertise what's for sale, which means everybody else knows what the deal is. And then we wind up like toilet paper. One person says that we're running low on toilet paper, and next thing you know, Walmart across the country is empty. That's because what's in it for me, right? I want to make sure I'm not missing out. I better buy now while I still have the chance. I heard they're going to slow down lending. Maybe I should buy now. Maybe I should do a crappy deal just so that I can do a deal before things shut down. That doesn't make any sense, guys. There's no logic in that. Deals are created by a buyer and a seller negotiating, not by a realtor and not by a wholesaler running some ad somewhere on Facebook or Craigslist or whatever. That's not where deals exist. Therefore, if you're looking for opportunity, looking for anything that's advertised is a colossal waste of your time. Stop doing it. Stop focusing on what's for sale, because what's for sale doesn't apply to you. Tell me one time in history that anybody has actually posted something for sale that was priced at a price that was actually a good deal, that was worth it, that was cheap, without there being some sort of extra situation going on that you later had to figure out, like, oh, well, this house looks great on the inside. The problem is or on the outside, but the problem is there is no inside. Or maybe it's sitting on a sinkhole. Geez, look at this beautiful 3-2 in Spring Hill. That's it's only $50,000. Well, yeah, it's because the inside of the house is missing. It fell into a gaping hole in the earth. So please, I implore you to forget what's for sale. I guarantee you the math will not work unless you force it to work if you're focused on what's for sale. That's because you're competing with every Tom, Dick, and Harry, Susie, or Jane in your market. That's a fact. Okay. When you have competition in the buying market, that's how you create markets. That's how it drives prices up. So how do you get around this? Well, geez, Tyler, if I can't focus on what's for sale, and if I can't look at the MLS and complain what's quote unquote overpriced, and I'm always trying to compete with Susie Homemaker, I'm never going to get anything. Well, I disagree. You have to get known in your marketplace as a problem solver. Now, the world is a busy and noisy place. Understand that. Everybody is competing to be heard or seen, and distractions are everywhere. That's why we have this little thing called pattern interrupt. Pattern interrupt basically is where you do something that interrupts a pattern, right? Real simple, real complicated. I'll show you one right here. Okay, I just clap my hands. So if we're having a conversation and I suddenly clap my hands, that's a way to interrupt the current pattern. You were listening to me drone on, you're whatever, you're doing your thing, maybe you're distracted on something, and then I reach across the table and slap the shit out of you. That's called a pattern interrupt. Now, I don't suggest you go out and slap the crap out of your sellers, but using pattern interrupts, you can use words to create pattern interrupts. For example, problem solver. Like it or love it or hate it, it's a good phrase to use to become a pattern interrupt. If you make it too complex, if it's not easily understood, understand that the confused mind always says no. That's why I keep mine very simple. I'm a real estate problem solver. That's what I do. Cash flow guy. Ring any bells? Why do I do that, guys and girls? I do that because people understand what cash flow is, especially now, and they also understand what problem solver is. So I throw real estate in front of it, real estate problem solver, and there you have it. And by the way, that's not original, so you can feel free to use that yourself if you want to. You're not copying me. It doesn't matter one bit. You notice how I like to keep things very simple. Think of Private Money Crash Course. PrivateMoneyCrashCourse.com. It happens to be the domain to my Private Money Crash Course. That's where smart people go to learn over a couple of hours exactly how I raise money the easy way. HowToMakeDeals.com is where you learn how to analyze a deal. That one's absolutely for free, by the way. HowToMakeDeals.com. See how simple that is? Problem solver is a pattern interrupt. Call it a moniker, call it what you will, but it stops people in their tracks. When you say, I'm a real estate wholesaler, people are like, oh, Lord, here we go. Or I'm a realtor, and people are thinking, oh, no, here comes the glamour shots and the drone photography. This is not what we want. Forget about We Buy Houses, and forget about we'll sell or list your home for 1%. That's garbage. Those situations don't really solve problems, okay? At least not for the seller. What they wind up doing is meaning the seller winds up underselling their house. And in some cases, it usually means that some poor schmuck investor who's brand new, who believes everything they hear at the real estate meeting, just overpaid for a property because they bought it from a wholesaler. Here's the thing. If you're buying from wholesalers, I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, you're overpaying for the property. How do I know that? Because there's obviously enough margin in there for the wholesaler to make us 10, 20 grand. Like it or lump it, that's just the reality of things. Same thing with the real estate agent. So how do you get around this? Well, you focus on trying to be seller direct whenever you can. Now, understand this. If you are terrible at negotiating, it's just not your thing, you're never going to get it, whatever, then fine. Buy from a wholesaler, get with a realtor if that's not your thing. If you're not the type of person that's slick in negotiations and can work through it, I totally get it. I'd like to see you learn how to do it. But again, I don't realize that these skills don't apply to everybody. Not everybody has them. Focus on what you can do honestly and ethically to help others. That's how you become a problem solver. And when you're able to communicate that effectively in a marketing program or some sort of marketing plan to get that information out to the world, then guess what happens? Your phone will ring and people will want to work with you. They may bring you opportunities. They may be wanting to invest capital with you, whatever it may be. I assure you, if nobody knows what you can do for them, they're never going to ask because you've never educated them. So there's lots of different ways we can do that. We've talked about marketing. A lot of you don't want to do marketing. You're afraid of the computer. ClickFunnels scares you, whatever it may be. Today, I'm going to give you one of my basic secret weapons that you can put to work in the next few minutes. That's simple, right? We're going to keep it real simple. Try to keep it under 15 minutes, beginning to end. Here we go. I've already said it once. Focus on what you can do honestly and ethically to help others. Understand that deals are only created in conversations. So if there's no conversation, there's rarely a deal. That I can tell you. So let's get off that train and let's focus on having conversations. Well, how do we do that? Start asking everyone you know, anybody in this that can hear the sound of your voice, who they know who has a problem that could be solved by selling their real estate. Not necessarily the person you're talking to having a problem, but anybody they know. See, that's a lot easier because people are naturally inclined to want to please other people. That's how BNI and other networking groups even exist, because it makes people feel good when they give a referral, especially if it's a legit one. So think about how you can harness that feeling and make it work for you. Start asking these questions. Call everyone that you know who's a landlord and ask them how things are going. And be genuine about that. How are things going? What can I do to help you? Do you need anything? You're looking for tenants? Maybe I can put it out on my Facebook page. You see, when you offer to help somebody without wanting something in return, it kind of creates a little bit of debt in their mind. Okay, emotional debt. And then next time they know of somebody that might be selling, if they know what the heck you're looking for, they may reach out to you. You don't have to say that, I'll do this if you do that. It's kind of like when wholesalers turn over listing leads to realtors. knowing that the realtor cannot compensate them legally unless the wholesaler has a real estate license. It's called you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. So here's a lead, Tyler, for this guy that wants retail for his house. Great. Tyler lists it with his team and we sell it and get the seller top dollar. Seller's tickled pink. I cannot legally pay Jimmy the wholesaler. That's fine. Jimmy the wholesaler would like me to pull some comps, or someone on my team to pull comps for him later. It's emotional goodwill. Okay, so you can absolutely do that. My secret weapon, though, really is being able to sit down and talk to people. But that was tough for me because I was an introvert. I had a hard time with that. So what did I do? And what should you do immediately? This is what every one of my students has to do if they go through the mailbox money system. You absolutely need to attend Toastmasters. I know there's coronavirus out there and the bad people will get you and all this other good stuff. I'm not downplaying the importance of that. However, you can do it virtually right now. They're actually doing virtual Toastmasters. You can sit home on that couch that the government told you to sit on. Hell, they're paying you to sit there, most of you anyway, and you can attend Toastmasters. So you might be thinking, well, I don't want to be a public speaker. I'm not asking you to be a public speaker. Don't get ahead of me here. Stay with me. You have to get good at learning how to think on your feet and talk on your feet, how to carry on a conversation. So when you join Toastmasters, make your speech topics about the various ways that problems can be solved by selling real estate. Here's the deal. You pretty much get to pick the topics that you want. There are some guidelines and whatnot in the different things. Some speeches have to be entertaining. Other ones have to be educational, informative, whatever. But you can still control the narrative. Okay? You can still control the storyline. So take advantage of that because you have an audience of people sitting in front of you that are there to listen to every word you have to say. That is your first customer base, if you do it right, is reaching out to folks using the platform of Toastmasters to harness your skill while educating them at the same time. When you join, I'm not going to say if, but when you join Toastmasters, volunteer for table topics. Table topics is basically a 1 to 3 minute spontaneous speech that's unrehearsed. They'll say, what about your shoe? Tell me about your shoes. Tell me what you like about your shoes that you're wearing right now. And in 1 to 3 minutes, you have to break down what you like about your shoes. Real simple, not a big deal. The good news here is that this is going to help you sharpen that sword, hone those skills to be able to converse without having to think about it, right? They say use your head before you open your mouth. Well, this is one case where you can be comfortable speaking spontaneously to people you've never talked to. You'll get good at this over time. The next piece of this is to volunteer for roles in the meetings that they have. One of them that's real powerful is grammarian. Another one is the counter. The grammarian, their job is to basically listen for grammar issues and whatnot and help the person up there once they're done by giving them critique on how they could have used better grammar. The counter, that's for audible crutches, ahs, ums, so's, bridge words, things like this. These roles require you to listen intently. Listen for these things, but also listen to understand. When you listen to understand, instead of most people don't listen to understand, they listen purely to respond. You ever been in a phone conversation with somebody that every time you say something, they talk over you and they keep interrupting you. So they keep saying, sorry. That person is not listening to comprehend. They're not listening to a damn word you're saying. They're listening only to respond. Everybody does it. Some people more than others. It's a problem. Toastmasters will help you get past it. When you go to attend these meetings and you start practicing these things, you're going to see changes in yourself. You're going to sound a lot better when you speak. You're also going to become a bit of a grammar Nazi, but that's a whole other story. You're going to learn how to comprehend what people are saying. This is uber powerful when you're talking to sellers and you're talking to folks that you want to learn how to raise money. This is how you're going to do it. In the Private Money Crash Course, I broke down a very simple 4-quadrant method, a pitch on how to raise all the money you need, real simple, in under an hour. Frankly, you could probably do the pitch in 30 minutes and nail it every time. People who are taking that course are blown away. How I learned how to do that, in part, was what I learned, the skills I picked up in Toastmasters. So if you take the Private Money Crash Course, that, by the way, is ridiculously cheap, go to privatemoneycrashcourse.com. I'm going to be raising the price soon, so get out there, privatemoneycrashcourse.com. Get over there and take it, and you will see elements of what I'm talking about right here. The one thing that will make the difference in your success is learning how to attract opportunity and learning how to negotiate. By learning how to listen to understand, you're going to hear people's problems. You're going to actually become that problem solver because you're going to be able to sincerely solve their problems and not just pretend that you're solving their problems. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot stress how important these elements that I talked about today are to getting deals done, to finding opportunity, so that folks in your market will be bringing you opportunity. Realtors might be calling you with things that they know that the seller doesn't want to list. Sellers will be calling you saying, I have a little problem. I need 15 grand. Can you help me? We'll talk more about this in another episode, but I want you to get out there and sign up for Toastmasters. Pull the trigger, learn about it. You'll love it. It's a good time. I know it's probably a little scary to think about, but you want to get deals? This is how you do it. See you guys next week.
This concludes today's episode. You don't have to wait till the next episode to learn to earn.
Head over to cashflowguys.com and contact Tyler and his team for more powerful tips and ideas so you can start generating multiple streams of income and escape the rat race.